go to Nigeria now, I don't know any other country in the world that has it. A Nigerian PayPal account is send only.
It's send only?
Correct.
For PayPal?
Yes.
How do you put the money into send?
Good. No, I can deposit money from my card into my PayPal account.
And send it to me.
But you can send me PayPal.
Is this capital controls? A bit like how they don't really, in Nigeria, they didn't really want people using the dollar. Wasn't there a restriction put there?
It was this preceded capital controls.
Okay.
This is PayPal's internal decision. Yes, they get bounced, they get fraud alerts and all, but the elegant systems of fixing that, rather than locking out 200 million people from global commerce through what then used to be the biggest channel. Of course, it sparked fintechs to rise in Africa to say, hey, we'll create systems that people can use to pay from outside. But that's the kind of decision that a global company like PayPal can make on the biggest economy in Africa. And it has impact, and people don't see it. Because the guy in Nigeria that is doing work, now remote work is very available, but he's doing that work. Can he get the value he's earned from that work back? And when all the systems, the channels that are set up for it are either going to collect a margin on every bit of his work because that system has just been designed in that way, then there's a problem somewhere. I'll give you another example. Western Union, MoneyGram. Last year, the US government requested that they send information on every transaction in the US from their platforms for people in this part of the world. Every single one, line by line. Already those systems, when you see the statistics of remittance that's coming to Africa from the diaspora, that means those companies are already getting a huge cut.
What do they take, 7%, 10%?
Varies here and there. They take a huge cut from it. So I'm not talking yet about what's happening locally. And there are issues locally. But I think our biggest challenge from a money standpoint usually comes when our money has to touch the rest of the world. Inside Nigeria, we have one of the most fantastic electronic systems for settling payment. If I sent you money in Ireland now from my Irish account, if I sent something to your dad to his Irish account, he's not getting it till after 10 a.m. tomorrow morning when the bank's open. If I send it in Nigeria now, even if we're two separate banks, two different banks, you get it instant.
Yeah, it's the same as we have in the UK.
Right?
Yeah.
Same in the UK, but there are places in Europe where you don't have it as that fast. Mm-hmm. So means of electronic transfer locally is starting to get easier. The problem starts when you're a businessman and you want to pay a supplier abroad, or you're a Nigerian developer who's working for a global company in Nigeria and you want to get your salaries back home.
Is this a problem if you try and do business with other African nations or just with the US and Europe?
That one's a crap show on its own.
But do you feel like this is the developed world?
Again, the system is designed so that we don't do business with each other.
It's people like him that are supposed to be in charge of money policies and all things money laws in not only Nigeria, but on the continent at large. Because listen to the brother now, listen to him speak. He's so eloquent and well articulated and knowledgeable about what he's talking about. And also because he obviously cares about his people and what is going on in our economy. But would they, them puppets, let these people come in, give them an opportunity for them to actually put their smarts into use and help the country and the continent at large get us to where we are supposed to be as a continent and as a people? No, because that's not what their master would want now, is it? The problems that Africa has, undeniably, is many. Both internal problems and external problems. Ibaku full grounds remain. And the systems that are in place actively working against us. Very many. And now I saw this video, and if I'm going to be honest, this is new information for me, right? I did not know how PayPal operated. I had only used PayPal once in my life, and it was to send. I did not know that you can't receive with PayPal. The importance of a nation receiving and the detriment of a nation not receiving. And I think that's something that is at play here. Them folks are very much aware of this. Of course they are, right? They're very much aware of this importance, and they've systematically structured this and use it to their advantage. So we are able to give to them nations, and we find ourselves in situations really to give out to them nations, but we cannot receive from them nations. Even if we are in situations where we need to receive from them, we cannot. So they are taking out of our economies. Our money is going over there and working there, and they are using our monies to build the circulating in their nations, in their economies. They are profiting off of us in that sense, but we don't get the same thing in return because they are not letting theirs come in. So even if there's an opportunity where you are a Nigerian and you need to receive money using this means of exchange, we can't. There's nothing we can do. We just have to either find another means to do so, or if there is no other means available, we rest and the money just doesn't come. It's obviously a kind of restriction that is going on here, and it's strategic. This is capital control. It's an attempt for them to restrict us, restrict our abilities to not only grow ourselves individually, but also grow and contribute to our economies. Something I saw people bring up in the comment section, that maybe PayPal made this arrangement or put this law in place or this restriction in place because of the kind of country that Nigeria is, the whole, Nigerians are scammers and stuff like that. But then I'm like, Nigerians are not the only ones who are scamming. There are scammers everywhere. Not to stereotype anybody or say these groups of people or these nations are, people from these nations are scammers, but there are scammers everywhere, like I said. So I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but did they restrict Indians? Did they restrict Russians? Did they restrict Americans? We know there are scammers in these countries. If they didn't, then that's obviously not what is at play here. There are other African countries that have the same restrictions as well. Like Cameroon, for example. I heard that Ghana too, the same thing. I think as a people, we just have to start having this mentality of doing our own thing. PayPal has this restriction now on Nigerians and other African countries. What would happen? Would the sky drop down if we as a continent have our own? Instead of relying on other people's ish, let's build our own. And yes, I understand that PayPal is more widely used and they have already stationed themselves there, and now they run ish in that department. PayPal as a platform has stationed themselves up there. They have planted themselves up there, and that's what the majority of people globally rely on. That's the platform that the majority of people use. So it will be hard for a new platform to break into the market and compete with such a platform that has been running for years and years, and that's what the majority of people use. But one thing I've learned in this life is that if you know your importance, if you know your worth, and you put your feet on the ground firmly and say, this is how I want to run my ish, that's how it's going to be. If as a continent we have our own platform, if as a continent we have our own version of PayPal, and we say we know who we are, we know what we've got. If you want to do business with us, if you want to send us money, if you want us to send you money, you have to use our platform. And we put our foot down on the ground as a continent, knowing who we are, knowing the continent that we are from, what we have to offer, because let's get this 100. The rest of the world needs us, not the other way around. We don't know this yet. We haven't realized our worth yet, and that is the problem. And also, we have to have a competing spirit. We cannot just be giving up, oh, this platform exists. They've been running for how many years now? They are up there. That's what everybody uses now. Let us rest. No. Okay, how would we have this? How would we have it? Will happen. It's just for us to say, go on, let us know who we are as a people. That's all it would take. It's an entire continent. There is no way they will say they not go move. They would not have a choice. And that goes too for many other aspects, many other things on this continent. Now, we never realize yet, unfortunately, waiting we get. Now make all these things still they happen the way that they happen. Because if we know who we are, if we know what we have to offer, if we know what we have in our hands, we will not be this, we're not going to do like Ogbolo. We're not going to do like, we'll not get backbone. That's how it's going to be. We'll put it like this. If you don't want to rest, they will do it. They go do one because they would not have a choice. We would not give them a choice. Like the way right now, they did not give us a choice in the matter. They made the decision they want to make with their platform. And it's within their rights. Even me, I'm not the best for them on that front because I've made peace with them folks and how they choose to operate. The way they pay me now, we know they choose to operate accordingly. That's where I get frustrated with my people, if I'm being honest. We don't act accordingly. When people tell us who they are, we don't listen. When they show us who they are, we refuse to see. That's the point where my people used to F up. So me, I don't have issues with them folks acting the way they act. Now the way we not agree act, now I be waiting they pay me, if I'm being honest. Papers say, okay, we want restriction now, no problem. We go and do our own. And we make our own laws. The way it benefits us. Now waiting benefits them, now they do so. We do our own and we make it so it benefits us. There is no way that if we as a people collectively decide to start wising up and acting right and making the decisions that we need to make, putting in place the things that we need to put in place for our advantage, just like they are doing. It is within our rights to do the same, but for some reason we don't do it. There is no way that if we start doing and acting how we need to start acting and doing, that everything is not going to fall in place. We just have to do better. But I'm sure there's more to this that I'm not aware of. There's more to this that I'm not knowledgeable of. I'm open to getting educated. I'm open to learning. So I'll be very much active in the comment section. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Do let me know down below what your thoughts are. And of course, as always, I would see you guys in the next one. Bye.